Hello, it's me, Mon! Mon, your favorite... it's your favorite bushcrafter! Mon! We're not gonna make a typical video. Mikkie had a brilliant idea, which I still don't really totally get. But here I am, being the host of the video.
No, Martin, we get a lot of questions still about knife sharpening.
Yeah.
I thought it might be a good idea to sharpen a knife from dull to sharp, like in a podcast style, to also give you all the inside information and so the audience can hear your thought process.
Okay.
And you are making this video now because I kind of get the feeling that the people are done with my voice. Mart's going to be the star of this show and I'm going to shut the hell up.
Okay. Today I have an MKM Malga Mikkie, which is actually just released. It's a Magna Cut, a Magna Cut multi-tool, of course. Of course it's a Magna Cut multi-tool.
We already made a video about this knife, didn't we?
Yeah, but not a Magna Cut.
Oh.
But today I'm going to sharpen it.
How I say that. And is it dull?
Yeah, that feels dull.
This episode is sponsored by Tools for Gents.
If you are looking for tools and you might be a gent, look no further.
At Tools for Gents. For the gentleman. And it's also sponsored by you.
We're actually giving away the Valkleven NL5 COS thanks to DBK. We are giving away the just released TRC This Is Freedom in convex thanks to Tools for Gents. We are giving away a Becker BK72 thanks to Knives and Tools. We are giving away not one but two MKM Maximos and LMAX. We are giving away a Spyderco Paramilitary 3 in Sprint Run Rex 45 thanks to Lamnia and a Super Lade Cannibal thanks to Puga. Whoa.
Yeah, that is dull. That is very dull. 401. Do you want any dollar, ladies and gentlemen?
So let's explain why am I sitting here, because my favorite method of sharpening is sharpening stones, and I still believe that to this day, even though it might be the hardest, it is actually the best way of sharpening a knife, because it's one, most versatile, two, you can get the best, most controlled results, and three, it's almost the only way besides belt sanders, how you can get a convex.
Hey, Marty boy, what stones are you using?
These are the follow-ups of the Nania Chosuras. These are Nania professional stones, and I'm just using 3 grids. It doesn't have to be more fancy than that. It's 400 for when you got edge problems, chips, whatever. 1,000 for the sharpening, and 3,000 for more like the polishing job. This is a stone holder. This just makes sure it doesn't slip over the surface. This is something that we hadn't used for the first few years, which is actually really handy. It's a sink bridge. You just put it over the sink, like a bridge.
Yeah.
So now I can put my stones here and wet it like this.
And that is crazy about these stones, is you don't need to wet them a lot. And other stones you need... Oh, I'm not going to talk over you. Sorry, Martin.
Why do we choose...
Martin, sorry.
We pick the Nania Chosura stones because they are very hard stones. They don't need soaking. They have a good bonding, which, you know, it doesn't need to absorb water before use. Some cheaper stones, you need to soak them in water for like 10 minutes, whatever. But these are just splash and go. And I like that because when I'm watching porn, it's always splash and go. First thing I'm looking at is the angle of the knife. And it's a V-edge. I'm gonna make it a secondary convex. It's a very thin knife. It isn't getting a lot of abuse, so I'm gonna give this quite a shallow angle. Just placing it flat, raising the angle a little bit. This should be good for this knife, so it's a very shallow angle. And I'm just gonna, no, I'm not going, you see a lot of people doing like this and this. For a convex, it's actually the oldest grind known to humanity, because when you don't keep an exact angle, you're always gonna end up with a convex. So I'm just gonna rock it back and forth like this, and that is actually creating the convex.
But I think it's very important that we didn't start off doing it this fast. So for the people who don't know it, how fast would you recommend it?
When you start, you gotta try and maintain around approximately the same angle, because you don't want it to round off. So I would maybe start off like this. And one thing that I always do is listen to the sound. Do you hear this? If I turn around the knife, suddenly I cannot see the angle anymore. But if I raise the knife up too high, ooh, different sound.
Ooh.
if I raise it like the same angle, it's gonna sound the same. That's a pro tip. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
If you get scratches in the end, it's a tool. You need to use it. Don't practice on your display knives.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna make a slow-mo, yeah, Martin?
So now with the coarser grit, I'm just looking if I'm hitting the right angle and how far I'm done. So I can still see some factory scratches. So I know that I'm not done. And on this side, I can still see a little bit of the factory bevel.
Oh yeah, you see like a double bevel.
Yeah, so I'm not done because I will be done when burr starts building up on the other side. That means that the factory bevel is sharpened out.
Yeah.
And that needs to be on both sides. Dispersing my fingers over the whole blade like this.
Yeah.
Because every blade, no matter how tough or whatever, and of course a thicker blade will have it less than a thinner blade, but if you put pressure on the knife, it will slightly bend. And if I sharpen like this,
yeah,
the middle comes up. So when I'm distributing the force of my hand over the entirety of the blade, just to make sure that the knife is completely flat on the stone. And that's why it's also important to have a flat stone. Normally you are likely to like follow the tip like this. Yeah. So you're gonna start sharpening like this. But it's actually just enough to raise it a little bit like this. You see this? Now the tip, it doesn't hit the stone. When I lift it a little bit, it hits the stone.
Yeah.
So when I'm sharpening, actually what I do is, I'm gonna exaggerate a little bit, just raise up the knife like this.
And if you wanted to go faster, you just raise the knife and yeah, then you just get a higher angle.
Yeah. The higher the angle, the faster you'll be done.
Yeah, the more robust the knife is gonna be, but the less sharp it will probably be.
So for this knife, I'm aiming at around somewhere between 80 to 120 on the best, because that will be sharp enough for everything. And this knife doesn't need like higher than that, because you're not gonna do hard tasks with it.
Okay, let's speed it up.
So now that I'm happy with these, both sides, I can feel that the burr has started to build up on this side. This side it's smooth, so you know, if I would go on like this, the burr will be on that side. Then I know I can move on to 1000.
This is gonna take significantly
less
time.
Yeah, because the 400 stone is where you get the initial convex, initial shape, or just, you know, get the knife back to sharpness, and this is just increasing that sharpness and polish.
If this doesn't work out within probably around 2 minutes, you probably did the first step wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this should be really, really fast. And now I think you just look for the irregularities of the...
Yeah, like a uniform scratch pattern.
Yeah, then you can move up to the next
stage. So, and Mikkie, something that I really love about these hard Naniwa stones, it's like skating on ice. And I've had to straighten the 400 stone, but the 1000 and the 3000 stone, maybe once every 2 years you have to flatten them.
Yeah, I think it's also very important that the stones are hard, because if stones are softer, you tend, especially with harder steels, to cut away pieces of stone.
Yeah.
And then it gets really hard to sharpen the knife, because that part that you cut away with the knife, it gets dull again, and then sometimes you have to start over with the stone.
So I'm actually almost, I'm done with 1000 already. That's it. 3000. My favorite stone.
Ooh, yeah, definitely mine too.
Mikkie, this feels kind of like a really old school video. Like how I did them back in the days. Like one shot, one opportunity. This is everything you ever wanted. One moment, capture, or just let slip. No.
Jesus.
But,
oh my God, that's funny.
It's just like one shot, you know, and then there was a video. And this feels like that. Me just talking what comes up in my brain. And it just takes practice. It takes practice. You're not gonna maybe some of you, but most of you will not be getting like hair shaving results the first time or the second time or the third time.
It's funny because we practiced this so much, and one day it just clicked.
Yeah.
And now it just feels like second nature to do this, and it feels so easy.
And that's also why, because sometimes it's hard to explain how you do things because it's like second nature.
Yeah.
But things like the sound, those are the tricks for me that help me get like around the same angle on both sides.
Yeah.
It's something very strange. Like, what can you hear about a sharpening knife? But it's literally like the pitch of the grinding. I'm done.
It also feels. Are you done?
Yeah.
So what's the next step?
So next step, even with 3000, you're gonna have some slight burr on your knife. You could do it on clean leather, but I am actually going to use DBK Stropping.
Oh shit, is it now available at the dbkshop.com?
It really is. Look, it's like a bottle of pure perfume. How nice is that?
Yeah, you would normally spray it on, but do you really want to do that now? Because we have to wait before it dries and it's already loaded.
I'm just gonna do like that because it's already preloaded. Normally you would do more.
For the first time?
Yeah. And now you can do this and hope it dry. It's magic. And okay,
let me see the knife before you do this.
So as you can see, it's already like mirror-ish. It has like polish reflections. Do you see that?
Yeah, can you put, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Love it.
Okay.
And now what? Oh, this is a lot of explaining you got to do, mister.
This is leather, and leather has all kinds of like tiny hairs.
Yeah.
And these tiny hairs, they grab around them. I'm grabbing like seaweed trying to grab your feet when you're swimming in the ocean. They catch the tiny salt teeth that you created on the edge, and they're taking them off, like the not so straight parts of steel that's sticking around everywhere.
People think that we are overstropping and overdoing, but Maarten is actually, it's very important to hold a very steady angle where the edge just about touches the leather. So that's very important to know.
When this would be the angle on your stone, this would be my angle on the strop.
Because it actually grabs around the edge.
Yeah.
If you do it too hard, it just dulls. This part can actually dull your knife completely again.
Yeah.
Because it's just polishing off the outer edge. So you want to be very, very steep with this, as steep as you can, with the edge just about touching the leather. Isn't that true, Maarten?
That's very true, Mikkie. Like if we would strop more, I would get a perfect mirror, but this is like, do you see that?
Oh yeah, I love it.
That's a mirror.
Yeah.
And a pretty nice edge, I would say so myself.
Nice, Marty boy.
Mikkie,
well,
is it approved?
Yeah, I would approve that. First, actually, we always do another test, and that is shaving the arm.
Oh yeah.
Which was, yeah. It does that easily.
Very easy, very easy.
Okay. If you feel the edge, what would you say it is? What do you think the score is going to be?
I'm gonna guess 100.
Can I also feel? Yeah, ooh, that's very. Yeah, I'm also gonna say 100, maybe even 90, Maarten.
Okay. Oh!
97!
Hey, how accurate are we with our fingers?
Yeah.
We went from 400 to 97 in like, how long are we busy? 10 minutes. 10 minutes or so. So we've done 10 minutes of sharpening, and we went from completely like unsafe, unusable to perfect sharpness. Of course, if you're making a video, you could be like the cool guy and go to 50 or 40 or whatever. But that knife, the steel will not be stable anymore. The first time you will hit the cutting board or whatever, that edge is just gone.
It's a goner.
And for my personal findings, I find that anywhere between 80 and 140 or something like that.
On the sharpness scale?
On the sharpness scale here. That's a very, very nice edge to have in bushcrafting tasks. Of course, if you're using it, it will go up to 200, whatever. It's still very usable. But when you get around that 250 mark, I would definitely say, need some stropping. You could get it back to 150 maybe. But in the end, also, if you strop a few times, the stropping is not going to work, because each time you strop, you're going to round it off a little bit more. So you can use a strop in the field to keep your knife sharp during the day. but before your next trip, you actually got to resharpen again. Go to our web shop. Mikkie, you can buy the strop that you saw in the video. You can buy at our web shop. If stone sharpening is not for you, there's also a DBK package that we made together with Worksharp, which is, I'll put that link in the description as well. And for us, stones, you see us a lot on the Worksharp, but for us, stones will always be number one. Because it's just the most versatile, it gets the best results, it's the most controlled, it's the best for like the Scandivex, where you don't want to convex too much. But you see us use the Workshop a lot because it's like the best alternative, which is for us a lot quicker to do it while we're making the videos and because we have so many knives. But stones are number one. Love you, Stony. Like, subscribe. Only 50% of you guys are subscribed to our channel. What's that? I was standing on an exhibition and the guys who actually came, oh, you're the guy from DBK. I asked, are you subscribed? They said, no. No, they are subscribed because I gave them a free patch. I'm not going to do that to you. All right. Bye. Oh, the giveaway.